One of the most efficient way of any kind of anti-aging is to put sunscreen on. Hello everybody, this is Gladys. Welcome back to my channel. There are loads of different kinds of sunscreen available in the market. Each of them claim that they are the best sunscreen in the market. Some say that they have good antioxidants, some say that they can give you a full protection under the sun, some say that it can also whiten your skin. And is the higher the SPF and PA value or PPD value, the better? Does it give you a higher protection? So what is really best for your skin? So how can you choose the best sunscreen for yourself? In this video, I'll give you some guides to choose the best sunscreen for yourself. Make sure you stay until the end because I'll be giving you some sunscreen suggestion. Let's start. I'm gonna put on my serious face now because we are going to the science of UV lights. So let's try to understand what UV ray is. There are two types of UV ray, there are UVB and UVA. So UVB is the ray that gets you sunburn, makes your skin red. And UVA ray is responsible for aging your skin, giving you wrinkles and sagging and pigmentation on your skin. So there are two types of UVA ray. So there's UVA1 and UVA2. UVA2 is responsible for darkening your skin or tanning your skin. UVA1 is responsible for aging your skin. It's responsible for giving you pigmentation on your skin. Now that we know what UVA and UVB refers to, let's look into how the products are being labeled to tell you how much protection you're getting from the product itself. First of all, you have SPF. So it's very common in all of the sunscreen, you will see a SPF rating. So SPF stands for sun protecting factor. So the higher rating means the more protection you would get from UVB ray. And then we have PA rating. PA grading system was originally established in Japan and it was supposed to give you rating on the UVA protection. And PA rating system was adopted by PPD method, persistent pigment darkening. And PPD method is a method to see how long a sunscreen can protect your skin from tanning or getting dark. However, PPD and PA rating system doesn't really tell you how much UVA protection you're getting. So as I mentioned earlier, there are two types of UVA ray, UVA1 and UVA2. UVA2 is responsible for darkening our skin, giving our skin tan. That's the testing that they are getting for PPD and PA rating system. It doesn't show any protection level against UVA1. That's the UVA ray responsible for aging our skin. And another labeling would be broad spectrum. This is mostly used in US sunscreen. And for a product to be labeled with broad spectrum, it has to show protection until the UVA ray 2, until 370 nm. Doesn't show how much protection you're getting, it just shows how broad of the protection you're getting from the sunscreen. So again, it doesn't show you how much UVA ray you're getting blocked. Maybe they're just blocking 10% of the ray, but they cover a whole range. So that is why sometimes when I purchase some really high SPF value and PA rating, highest PA rating sunscreen doesn't really necessarily give you a very good coverage. I used a Japanese sunscreen which provides me with an SPF 50+, PA quadruple plus, and I thought it is the highest value in the market. It must be doing some sort of good protection against tanning or aging of my skin. But unfortunately, this sunscreen itself was giving me sunspot. It was darkening my skin. So PA rating and the PPD rating or even SPF rating doesn't really give you a good indication of how good that sunscreen is. And because for the States and for the Europe and for Asia, we have different rating system. And there were tests done on some US sunscreen and some European sunscreen, as you can see here in the graph. Some of the European sunscreen actually provides higher protection against UVA ray compared to some of the US sunscreen. So even though they may have a similar labeling, it might not be giving you enough protection against UVA ray. So you must be scratching your head thinking to yourself, oh, so if I cannot rely on the labeling, how can I choose the best sunscreen for yourself? So here comes the looking at the ingredients. Now don't worry, it's not that difficult to look at the ingredient list. So you just need to look for some certain ingredients in the sunscreen in order to see whether they're giving you good protection. I'll list the ingredient list here on the screen because they are quite mouthful. Let's go into it one by one. These ingredients include Maxro XL, Tinosorb S, Tinosorb M, Uvenol A+, Maxro SX, and Avene. Most of them can be used in European skincare products and in Asia skincare products. Unfortunately, only Avene is available to use in the States. And I do also want to remind you, Avene has been the holy grail of a very good UVA filter in the States. Avene is quite photo unstable, so that means it will break down under exposure of the UV light within an hour. So that's why some of the sunscreen require you to reapply again. There are actually some other ingredients that the manufacturer can add into the product to stabilize Avene. These are the ingredients that can be added to Avene to make it more photo stable. They are listed here on the screen. Hey, if you're liking this video so far, make sure you like this video and give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to my channel so that I can make more video in the future. So let's get back into it. What I mentioned earlier were some chemical filters, and we would label them as chemical sunscreen. How it works for chemical sunscreen: they would absorb the UV ray and then they would release it from your body as heat. Some other ingredients that's also popular within the sunscreen spectrum are the physical sunscreen, zinc oxide, and titanium dioxide. And the mechanics behind the physical sunscreen is the UV ray is actually being reflected from the skin, so it won't absorb into your skin. That's why physical sunscreen would be more safe for sensitive skin. So if you find titanium dioxide and zinc oxide as the active ingredients in the sunscreen product, means that the sunscreen itself is a physical sunscreen. Even though zinc oxide and titanium dioxide showed a broad coverage against UVA and UVB, it doesn't give you a lot of protection. So for zinc oxide or titanium dioxide to give you a high level of protection, it needs to have a high percentage of zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. However, when products are being added with high percentage of zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, they tend to leave a white cast. So it might not be flattering, especially if you want to wear makeup on top of them. And there's a study that shows products that contains high level of zinc oxide might not give you as good protection against UVA ray. So if you're in Europe or in Asia country or in Australia, you can look for all these chemical sunscreen filter that I mentioned. However, if you're from the States, unfortunately, the only available good UVA filter is Avene. So when you're looking for products with Avene, you want to look for other stabilizing ingredients, as I mentioned earlier, like octocrylene, that is added into the sunscreen to stabilize the sunscreen. However, if your skin is really sensitive and can only use physical sunscreen that contains titanium dioxide or zinc oxide, I would suggest that you choose sunscreen that is at least with 20% or above zinc oxide. However, the white cast could be quite daunting, so please bear this in mind. And also you can look for if the product has added any niacinamide in the sunscreen. Niacinamide is a vitamin B3 and it is a good ingredient that could help to calm your skin down. And you can also see other products that contains any antioxidants inside the sunscreen. They claim that this antioxidant would help to fight against the free radicals that caused by UVA ray, the aging side of the UVA ray. However, there are little evidence that shows these ingredients, these antioxidant ingredients really help kick against these free radicals, and sometimes it would also produce some byproduct after being exposed to UV rays. Okay, here comes the recommendation of sunscreen that contains these kind of good UVA filters. The first recommendation would be Avene sunscreen, the orange bottle line. So this sunscreen contains Tinosorb S and Tinosorb M, and it also contains avobenzone. So it really gives you a wide protection against UVA ray. It also contains ingredients that gives you UVB protection. I'll be linking all the products that I'm mentioning today in the description box below, so you can check them out. The formula is quite moisturizing. The finish is quite shiny. So when you put on this sunscreen, make sure you give it enough time to sink into the skin. It doesn't give you much of a white cast as compared to some of the physical sunscreen. However, I wouldn't recommend this for people who have oily skin because it could be quite heavy on their skin. And then we have this one from La Roche-Posay, and this is for their kids line. This product again is very similar. The formulation is very similar to Avene. It has Tinosorb S and M and avobenzone. Again, the texture is very similar to all the above sunscreen, and it has a bit of the titanium dioxide in it. And then here comes something that people from the States can purchase. This sunscreen from Cetaphil. This sunscreen contains avobenzone, which is the only ingredient that's available to be used in the States. So it has avobenzone as the UVA filter, and it also has autocrylene added to stabilize the avobenzone. And it also has titanium dioxide added in it. Lastly, we have Bioderma. So the formulation again is very similar to Avene, and it has Tinosorb S and Tinosorb M, and it also has avobenzone. So the formulation of these sunscreen that I recommend are pretty similar, and the texture itself are quite similar as well. It is slightly on the creamy side, so it is great for dry skin to normal skin. So these are my recommendations. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel so that I can make more videos like this to support you to get the best sunscreen for yourself. I will see you next time. Bye.